May I podcast. Welcome to the Mother May I podcast. And if you are new here, you're going to want to be around every week because this podcast is lit. We cover topics pertaining to motherhood in the realest way you probably seen it done ever. And we cover topics that help us reclaim our time back and help us really find ourselves through motherhood. I love you guys so much for being here. My name is Whitney Johnson and I am your host. So today is Black History Month. So because it's Black History Month, I am definitely going to be talking about topics pertaining to Black culture and parenting, because I feel like this is a perfect time for people to bring more awareness to the real history behind Black parenting and how it kind of originated. So this episode is going to be kind of like a snapshot of some of the originalities of Black parenting, Black culture, and how it kind of evolved into what it is today. And then I'm going to also offer some of my feedback on what I think we need to kind of really pay more attention to when it comes to our parenting and Black culture. So anyway, enough of that. Let's get into today's episode. So today, y'all, I wanted this episode to be about as blackety black as I could make it. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. And the reason why is because, like, in this space, I have always felt like a lot of the things that I have noticed or paid attention to when it comes to, like, the experts in this industry, a lot of the things that they are saying and putting out there to the public are things that I've realized or researched and found out originated back in Africa. And so when I realized those things, I started to dig a little deeper, and I'm still digging. I'm still trying to put together some things. But basically, what I've come to the conclusion is that a lot of the parenting and advice and tips that the experts are giving out nowadays are things that they have found because they've traveled to Africa, seen those things, and now have brought them over into America and said that they are something that they have created, when in all actuality they got that shit from the motherland. Okay, one of the main things in particular is breastfeeding, right? I feel like in our culture nowadays, you don't have as many Black women interested in even thinking about breastfeeding. Like, it's just like a heck no, right? But when I research breastfeeding, and if you feel like you want to piggyback and offer some more additional research about breastfeeding, please do so, because that is what this episode is about, so that we all can gain knowledge and learn together. But basically, from the research that I found, breastfeeding originated back in ancient Egypt. These parents were breastfeeding their children up until like age 3 years old, straight up. And they were breastfeeding their babies on demand. Now, here in America, nowadays, right, when I think of breastfeeding, I know myself, I've never breastfed a baby past, Flash was 15 months. I've never done it past that. So to be at age 3 is just like, wow. Like, I couldn't even imagine, because, you know, like, here things are so quick, things are always happening, but it's just amazingly shocking to me that this is something that originated in our culture back in Africa, back in Egypt, years and years and years ago. And like, now it's not even something that Black people are even like, let me get some more information, let me get support with it. Are there lacticians, consultants? Like, those are the things that we are not even asking or even being curious about, but these concepts originated within our culture. Another thing is baby wearing. Baby wearing is like the little carriers you see parents wearing around themselves to hold their babies. Some people wear them on their back. Some people wear them on the front. You can wrap them, you can buckle them, you can do all kind of things with these different devices, baby carriers. But those things originated in West Africa. A lady from the Americas, like I told you, I don't know names. I just know information that I have researched for myself. Okay, a lady from the Americas came to Africa, and she realized that these women were wearing and carrying their babies while working, while doing things around the household, and she was amazed by it. She brought it back into the Americas and called it, I think it was the Suji or something like that, and she began to sell it. Now, how did she come up with that concept? She came up with that concept by going to the Muvahland. She's seen that these were things that these African women were already doing. They were already hip to it and already knew the benefits of going around, carrying their baby, keeping them close to them, and being able to breastfeed them on demand, being able to still use their hands and work and do those other things. But I feel like in our culture now, it's something that we view as only white people do. But it's not true. These are concepts that we actually started. These are trends that actually originated in Africa. So culturally, these things are already embedded in us, but for some reason we have gotten off track from that, not realizing that inside of us, deep down inside of us, these are natural things that we are already accustomed to within our culture. Right? So this isn't something new. This isn't something trendy. This isn't something for just white people. These are things that actually have been beneficial throughout our culture for years and years and years to come. And some of the reason why these women are wearing their babies is because they understand the importance of their children being close to them. It's not spoiling their babies. Hello, these children are still getting up, doing what they have to do. They know when they are old enough, they are working and taking on these responsibilities, right? So these things aren't spoiling their children. These things aren't preventing them from getting work. They aren't worried about all the other things that we say are the reasons why we can't baby wear our babies, right? And so these are some of the things that I feel like originated in our culture, but for some reason now all of a sudden we like, I ain't about to wear my baby, you know? Another thing that I found, y'all, was so interesting. I found out that also in ancient Egypt, they were very, very big on family. So much so that like even when it came to children, they would pray to gods for their children. And when they actually had children, they felt like this was blessings from God, right? They felt like these children are blessings from God. I'm going to hold on dear to them. I'm going to hold on near to them. So they took exceptional care of their children, right? And so because they had this high value on family, when the couple had a child, they didn't just live alone. They also had other people living within the home with them so that they can have like this network of support, right? And it's just so interesting because when you think about how our culture is now as Black people, because we don't typically see a lot of Black people having like support or having a village or having like, you know, all these things that naturally were culturally done within our culture years and years and years and years and years ago, right? And it's just interesting to me that things have all of a sudden changed, and where as though we used to put such high value in making sure that our children not only knew the fundamentals, but they were also okay from within. Like they knew who they were from within. They understood that they were blessings from God's. They understood who they were, their significance. It wasn't just about how many ABCs and 1, 2, 3s they had, or how much gold and jewelry and all those other things, right? It was never about that. It was also about who they were on the inside. These parents took exceptional care of their children and really focused in on those things because they understood the value of them growing up into children that would be able to continue to do the same thing. It was cultural norm, right? But I think sometimes here we get away from that. Like we really get away from that and don't realize that it's okay for us to take more time with homework. It's okay for us to slow down and do one-on-one time with our children. It's okay to rethink about how you talk to your children. It's okay to say, I don't want to raise my children this way. This is what I'm going to do differently. It's okay. All of those things are okay because culturally, you may be feeling that tug to make these changes because culturally, it's what we have always done. It has always been done since back in ancient Egypt. It's the norm. So if you're feeling that tug that you know you need to make a change in the way you're showing up as a parent, and the way you're showing up as a mother, and the way that you are caring for your children, it's because culturally you're feeling that tug that you need to go back to where it originated. You need to go back to where all of the stuff really originated from. Because once people understood the fundamentals of how these ancient Egyptian families were caring for their children, then these type of things began to come to the Americas. And then we started to develop all these concepts on how parenting this and parenting that. But these practices were originated in the motherland, right? So I want us to start thinking about this. Like, these aren't things that are new to us. These things are true to us. You know what I'm saying? And because it's Black History Month, I want to shed more light on things that I have discovered. Again, there's still things I'm still researching and still finding. So if you know more things, please school me, let me know, because I'm interested. I'm here to learn as well. But these are things that I also want to bring to the forefront, because I feel like there isn't much talk about how a lot of the parenting practices and things that we are hearing about today that we label as just for white people are things that actually came from our country, the motherland. Okay, so let's not forget that. That's what this episode was just kind of a glimpse of. And during this Black History Month, I'm going to be highlighting a little bit more of some of the cultural parenting things that I feel like would benefit us today if we kind of get back to that, or kind of like focus more in on that part. So anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning into this week's episode. We're gonna have more chat about some Black history in the motherhood circle. I also have been delivering free preschool weekend Saturday toolkits. So if you are looking for something to do with your preschooler on the weekend, want a cool little activity, especially with it being Black History Month, you may want to go to the Motherhood Circle on Facebook, because I'm giving you guys a freebie this weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll catch you guys on the next episode of the Mother May I podcast.